EcoAnalysis Challenge 2023 solution. Alright, the questions specifically says that I will make an assumption. Alright, the question, don't forget before I go, economists are generally, what we do in economics is we model our situations. We have an economic phenomenon. Having a problem we want to tackle in economics, what we simply do is we create a model. What's a model? It's a simplified version of the reality. Now the word simplify is very, very important when economic modeling is concerned. It's simplified in the sense that we have an understanding that we cannot take every single aspect of the society, of the environment, of the phenomenon, of the problem into consideration. So what we simply do is we identify the important element, the most potent element, so that we can have a simplified model. Let me use a popular model all of us are very conversant with, as far as we have a basic background in elementary economics, which is the quantity demand, quantity supply. The demand model that we probably called theory of demand. We said our QD is a function of what? Price. Alright, this is a model. It's a model. Now in this model, we said our quantity demanded depends on the prices of the commodity. Now when you look at it, is it only the prices of the commodity that actually determines the quantity demanded? No. But for the sake of simplicity in this model, we assume that every other factors that can influence the quantity demanded of a commodity, be it the population, be it price of complementary or substitute goods related commodities, be it the consumer income, be it their taste and preferences, we assume that all are constant. That's why we always use the phrase ceteris paribus. Ceteris paribus means all other things remain constant. When you are analyzing it, all other things remain constant. And this, what all other things remain constant, is what we do mathematically in economics when we find what we call a partial derivative. When you do partial derivatives, it's what you do. You find a derivative of a particular independent variable, while a particular independent variable is assumed to be constant, assumed to be fixed. So it's what we do here. Alright? Everything is very, very simple. When you have the understanding, you just have to get it. And success enlightenment is there to make sure that the thing becomes as simple as it can ever get. Alright? But we are not here to do all this. All we are here to say here is that economics attacks their problem with using what we call modeling. We have so many types of modeling, but that's not what we are talking here. We are here to solve EcoAnalysis Challenge question November 2023. Alright, so we asked to formulate a model. We said we have an industrial estate. That is, we have an industry and we have an industrial estate. We have housing inside this estate and we have housing outside this estate. We have apartments inside this estate and we have apartments outside this estate. Now, we now say that the housing outside this estate, they are unlimited. And their price is known and fixed. Which means there is no factor that determines the prices of apartment outside this industrial estate. There's nothing. So, which means there's nothing to study here. Now, because these apartments, they are inside the estate, everybody wants to be there. Right? Because it reduces the cost of transportation, it makes their work less stressful. So everybody wants to be there. Everybody wants to stay close to where his office is. Everybody wants to be there. So for that sake, there's huge competition here for the apartment in the world, this industrial estate. There's a huge competition there. And from the question we are given, the prices of this apartment is not known. The prices of this apartment is unknown. In fact, the quantity people want of this apartment is not known. Not do we even know the number of apartments available. So, for the fact that we don't have numbers into those questions, many students are confused already. But get it right and right forever. Numbers is nothing but what we just fix into model. Okay? Except you carry an empirical analysis, you carry empirical data, you bring in, you evaluate your beta and the alphas, use econometrics. But without that, numbers are just what we fix them. Okay? So don't get bothered that there's no number there. But before I go further in solving the question, there are things we need to know. There is something in economics. We call it a what? Reservation price. We call it a what? Reservation price. Call it reservation price. Alright. Now the concept of demand is built on this. Reservation price tells of the word the maximum price, the highest price a consumer or say a potential consumer is willing to pay for the satisfaction it will derive from a commodity. We already know that effective demand is a function of the utility you will derive from the commodity. The higher level of satisfaction you can derive from consuming a particular commodity, the higher your willingness to pay for it. And that highest, the maximum price you're willing to pay is what we call the reservation price of goods and services. And this reservation price of goods and services is what really single-handedly accounted for the negative slopes of the demand curve. We have a demand curve like this. We have a demand curve like this. Alright, why is it like this? It's because of reservation price. Now, when the prices is very, very high, only few people's reservation price is this high. Only a few people. So as the prices falls further, many people becomes the goods, they cannot afford it. So which means it's coming down to people that have lesser reservation price. Let's say Mr. A, Mr. B, Mr. C, Mr. D, Mr. E. This one can afford to pay $20, $200. This one can afford to pay $180. This one can afford to pay $150. This one can afford to pay $50, and this one can afford to pay just $10. Alright. Now, when the price in the market when it's at 200, definitely only Mr. A will be able to pay. Only Mr. A will compete for the goods in the market because Mr. B cannot, his budget is not up to the price of the commodity. That is, this price as their reservation price. Okay? But immediately the price dropped to what? 180. When you look at it, Mr. A and Mr. B will compete for the commodity. Mr. A and Mr. B will compete for the commodity because definitely Mr. A can buy at 180 and save $20. That is the what? Consumer surplus. Okay? At the same time, Mr. B can buy at 180, which is bought as a margin. So two people want. So if in the market you have only one of that goods, it's a competitive market, then the best man what? We get it. Either Mr. A gets to the market first, either Mr. B gets to the market first, one of them will get it. But if it happens to be a monopoly, especially a discriminating monopoly market, definitely it is still Mr. A that will get it. Okay? Because the firm are there to what? To make supernormal profit. So what we say here is that it is the reservation price that is actually accounts for the negative slopes of this demand curve. When you get to 150, now Mr. C, so for this A, B, C, three of them will now compete for the what? For the commodity. And now depends on the supply of the commodity. If it's enough for the three of them, fine, all of them can get. And that is where it is where the demand curve reach the supply curve. It is where it's the equilibrium, because that is the point where everybody whose price is higher than the reservation price, whose price is higher than whose reservation price is higher than the market price, can get the goods. When it is here, definitely this man here might still not get it. It might still be just only that get it. So the supply and the demand. Alright, don't worry, I'm doing too much of explanation. Let me just go straight answer the question. There is several videos that will explain this more and more. But I just wanted to get this and get this once and for all. Right. The first thing we asked to do there is to formulate a competitive market model for the apartment. See, the question is very simple. You're not even doing much. You're just analyzing. No more. So now, just as we already have, okay, you have a demand curve, you're gonna have a supply curve. Now, when you look at that apartment, if you look at it in a real sense, the quantity of apartments that we have in the world, in the industrial estate, will actually be what? Be fixed in the short run. Because why? It takes time to build new buildings. Right? It takes time to build new buildings. Now, when you look at the demand, definitely it's gonna be negatively slow because fingers are not equal. People doesn't have the same level of income to pay for the apartment. Even if they have the same level of income, their preferences differs. Some people are more desperate to get the apartment than the other, which means definitely the demand curve will have to what? Be negatively sloped. Alright, let me redraw my supply curve so that I can shift the equilibrium price a little bit up. Alright, and shift the equilibrium price a little bit up. Doesn't matter how you really do it. Doesn't really matter. This is demand. This is what? Supply. This is price, and this is quantity. Alright, this exactly is what we want to say. This is what I want to say. The fact that you understand that this is what will happen to the supply. The fact that you understand that that supply is fixed. It's fixed. It's apartment. It's like a land. It's a building. It will take nothing less than 4-6 months before any building can add. This is the short-term analysis. And then it's a competitive model. And this is the short-term analysis. This is how it goes. At the price here, will be our equilibrium price and our quantity. That will be equilibrium price and what? Quantity. So it means here that even at this price, all the quantity supply what is demanded. There's no free house in that apartment because everybody wants it. Everybody wants industrial estate. Just think of it. You finish your undergraduate, postgraduate studies. You get a job. Let's say you're staying in Abuja. You get a job at Maitama here in Abuja, and definitely you used to stay at, let's say, Kubwa, right? So definitely you want to move to Maitama. You want someplace close. And come and say you're fortunate that your company happens to have an estate that workers there stays. So definitely you want to get there, even when it is expensive. So you want to get there, which means there won't be free apartment. No apartment will be free there. No apartment will be free there. Now, consider another further scenario. Let's say a tax. You have a tax. Like a tax. Government levied a tax. Let's say you have a tax of what? 1 naira. They have a tax of 1 naira on this apartment. Now, how will this affect the what? The quantity demanded and supply. Don't forget, when there is a tax in this situation of this apartment, the only thing you will see is that if the tax is very, very high, normally the tax will shift the price up, right? The tax will shift the prices up because the apartment owners, right, who are the king in this scenario, because everybody wants to stay in their house. They're not begging anybody to come and stay. Okay? So they will shift the burden of the tax to the tenants, right? So, but the thing is that no matter how severe this burden is, the only difference that will occur is what? Is the change in the personnel of people occupying the house. It will never force the demand. It will never reduce it. And at the same time, it will not increase or decrease the supply of houses. In fact, it might incentivize the what? The owner of this apartment to, in the long run, build more apartments. Okay? That's all. Nothing. The tax will not reduce the quantity demanded. It won't. Will it increase price? Yes, it will. Will it increase supply? No, in the short run. Okay? Now, will it have any effect on the quantity demand? No. When supply in the short run? No. If you look at it well, it is very different from basic logical theoretical analysis you've done in your textbooks. Yes, and that's why many a times people come around, they tell me economics is not a practical science. Then I tell them you are not mastering it in a practical way. Okay, all right, and that's because every single time many of you focus more on the grades. That's the problem. Yeah, just complete a studies, economics related studies. I just completed one just this year, and guess what? Yes, it's not as if I don't focus at all on the grade. I do, but I study all through. And when it's time for exam, I narrow my understanding to what I'm expecting in the examination. I narrowed it. Sometimes in the examination, I write much more. People don't understand why. It's just because before that exam, I wasn't preparing for the exam. I was reading properly. So once I hold that pen, a lot of things coming down from the head to the point that I have to write to a point and say, no, I have to leave this question, answer another question, so that I won't end up just answering one question. Okay? So that's just it. You focus too much on the grades, and that's the wrong approach. Economics is a practical science. It's a practical science. Practical science. Very, very practical. Simple. Okay? Simple. That's just the fact. So, I think we've answered two of the questions there. The competitive market model of this, the government increases tax. Now let's say a particular person in this apartment chooses to actually turn some of his apartment or all of his apartment into what? Condominiums. Now, how will this affect what? The quantity demanded and the quantity supplied. Now, the first thing to answer this question is, now you need another graph. You need another graph because in the question we didn't state if we have condominiums before. That is, condominiums are smaller apartments. Smaller apartment. You can make let's say 4 condominiums out of a single apartment, or even more. Depends on the initial space of the apartment. It's just smaller places where people can stay. That's condominiums. Now we didn't state in the question if priority is condominium, but for the fact that now we have condominium, so that means we're having another demand supply curve for condominiums. Don't forget the number of condominiums at a particular point in time, we have to be fixed too, because you might think the condominium is, yes, before you are going to put in block increases the number of condominiums, it will still take time. It's not something you can change 4 or 5 times in a day. Do you understand? So the supply curve of them too, we have to what? We have to be what? To be what? Perfectly inelastic. We have to be fixed. Okay? Now the demand for condominium to, we have to be like this. Somebody asked me, why is the demand not perfectly elastic? Oh my God, it can never be, right? It has to be this like this, but the reservation price. All right, but for the fact that now we have condominiums, what we have to theoretical understanding, we know that the supply of real apartment, we have to shift outward or shift inward, right? You have to shift inward, that is, you have to shift to this place. You have to shift to this place, which means the what? The supply will decrease, right? The supply will decrease. Now, from our basic knowledge of economic analysis, theoretical economic analysis, know that when the supply in this scenario shifts inward, what happens? What it forces a change in the what? In the equilibrium price. Forces a change in the equilibrium price, which means higher prices is experienced in the what? In the apartment. Now, this higher prices that is experienced in the apartment, all right, makes people from here to this place to what? To shift to what? Into what? Into condominiums. Into condominiums. But there is no certainty for us that it is people from here that come to condominium. It might be possible that it is people who couldn't secure apartment at all that now went into what? Into the condominiums. These people might just go outside the industrial estate, but the real effect of that condominium that it decreased the quantity supply of the apartment available in the industrial estate. It decreases it. Now, after decreasing it, what happens? It increases the prices of the apartment in the industrial estate. So there is a shift in focus from what? From taking apartment to taking what? Condominium. And as the supply of the condominium increases, what happens is the what? The supply of the apartment decreases. So that's the effect of what? If a developer changes his own apartment to condominium, that's the simple effect. Now let's look at this. So in case we have a discriminating monopoly, we start from a discriminating monopoly. I think that's still a part of the equation. With a discriminating monopoly, a discriminating monopoly is a monopoly that sells at different prices. It sells at different prices to different people. When I was explaining reservation prices, I already explained that. This is it. All right. Don't forget what I said. This is what we have, the supply, and this is what we have, the demand. All right. Now, when you look at this equilibrium price here, right? Now, this is a people here, they are competing for these goods. Who can afford to pay this price here afterwards? Consumer surplus if it pays at this price. So what discriminating monopoly does is that what it gets, instead of the consumer surplus, that like this is the benefit the consumer gains in terms of consumer surplus in the world, in the competitive market. Discriminative monopoly take those surpluses away from the consumer. It sees it in the sense that yes, this is the equilibrium price, but let's say the equilibrium price, let me put this at $8, right? $8 is the equilibrium price. So now this man is willing to pay $200. So when this man approached the discriminative monopoly for that same goods that the current price is $80, the discriminative monopoly will sell to him $200, which initially if he has bought for $80, you're making a what? Consumer surplus of what? $120. So in the long run, what this monopoly really does is that what? It makes sure that the goods are allocated to what? To people who are willing to pay the highest. That's what this monopoly does. What it does. The goods are what? It ensures that the goods is actually allocated to those who are willing to pay the highest. So that's what it does, and it increases the what? The gain of the what? From the producer or the seller at the expense of the consumer surplus of the consumer. But it does not reduce the quantity that is being what? Demanded. It doesn't. The only thing distributing monopoly does is what? It changes the person who gets it. That's what it means. And this price is today at 80. This person willing to pay 200, alright? Might not even buy one. Might be everybody who bought here and those who are just willing to pay 80. Nobody might even make a consumer surplus. Alright? But this great monopoly ensure is the person who hold the highest form get the goods first. That's what you see monopoly called. And remember our concept of Pareto efficiency, Pareto optimality, efficiency in distribution, efficiency in production. We know efficiency. We said it is not efficiently allocated or distributed, except when there is not possible for us to make one person better off without making another person worse off. Right? So if you look at competitive market, then you see there's still more space to make somebody better off and nobody get worse off. When you look at here, it's just not possible. It's just not possible because you can pay the highest, you paid for it. Alright, you paid for it. That's the discriminative. That's all the explanation you need to give. That's all the explanation you need to give. Now, if it is a monopoly, now the price of the apartment will be fixed at some what? At some known level. The monopoly. That's all. The price of apartment will be fixed at some known level. Now, what determines the prices will be the elasticity of of the demand curve. The more inelastic the demand curve for the apartment in the industry will be, the higher the prices the monopoly will fix. And note, the demand for this apartment will definitely be more inelastic. It will be more inelastic. It will look like this. It will be more inelastic instead of like this. It will be more like this. It will be more like this. It will be more like this. More like this. So because this apartment, everybody wants to get it. Not just for the price of the apartment alone, but for the other benefit the apartment, like reduce stress in getting to work. So a monopoly which fix higher prices. That's what it does. And by fixing higher price by the monopoly, although we check the elasticity degree and nature of the demand. So the more inelastic the demand is, that's the determinant of the prices is going to say. But unlike discriminating monopoly, the higher prices the monopoly said actually reduces the supply. Actually reduces the quantity demanded of the land. There's a particular price that the monopoly will set, and nobody will be willing to live inside the apartment. So that's the major gap. That's the major difference, right? That's the major difference. You are asked to create the model for the competitive market, discriminating monopoly, and then which one is more efficient. Now, from my analysis already, you read that the more efficient means of allocating this is what is discriminative monopoly. That's the best. That's the more efficient one. That's why in most cases you have haggling going around in many goods. Especially when you go to developing countries, haggling. There's no fixed price. Haggling. Because alright, this one have more money now. This one should pay 5,000. Why this one have less money? Should pay 3,000. Do you get that? Haggling. That's what goes on. That's good. They end up rationing the goods in such a way that there's no way you make one person better off without making someone worse enough. So discriminating monopoly is the best method to land apartment allocation in our industrial estate model. And from this I can make a further study. This can form my a research topic, right? A research topic, analysis of best allocating mechanism for apartment in an estate. So just all we have to do is just collect data on a particular estate that the land, the prices is not fixed, so there is discriminative. You have to argue and say, fine, you this, just like that, and see how it goes. How it goes, right? That's it. It's a study. You are also asked to present a long run analysis, right? In the long run, definitely the demand curve will still remain the same, but the supply now will change. Now, the supply now will change, right? Because in the long run, you can increase the supply is no longer fixed, right? But am I right? Am I right? No, I'm not right. Remember, the point of eco-analysis, it is not for you to come and quote theories, it is to quote understanding. Now, if in 2010, in an industrial estate, you have what? 300 apartments. In 2023, now you have what? 500. But in that 2023, does that mean that what? The number of apartments can now varies? No, because even at that 2023 number of apartments, there is still what? It's still fixed. Now, the basic thing you state here for those long run is that the only thing you are going to experience in the long run is you are going to experience the what? An outward. This is the short run supply, and this is the long run. This is short, this one. An outward shift in what? In the supply curve. This is all you are going to express. Nothing more. The supply of the land will shift. It will shift. Thereby, there's a tendency for the what? For the price of the land what? To fall. But will it fall? No. It will not fall. Why will it fall? It will not fall because in the long run, as the supply of the land has the tendency to shift, the same way the demand curve for the land also have, okay, let me leave it like this, okay. The demand curve also have the tendency to what? To get close to what? To being perfectly elastic. The demand curve get close to being perfectly elastic. Why? Because what? Population increases, right? Population increases in this industrial estate. There is now more workers in this industrial estate as the apartment is increasing, but the population of people who want the apartment is decreasing higher than the apartment is increasing. That's what happened in the long run. It's no more than that. That's all. Then the screen monopoly will still hold. The monopoly will still hold. And it is still the word. The discriminating monopoly that is still the most efficient ways of allocating apartment there. That is all you have. That's all you have to do. It is not a really big question. It is not a question. It's not a question you have to be looking for ML Jingan to solve or no. It's just what that you understand so far as far economics is concerned. And on this note, I just solved the question. Simple like that. I think it's even less than 30 minutes. I'm done. So on this note, this is what I will tell you out there. If I'm an aspiring economist just like me, I'll tell you this. Well, it's good to have good grades, but it doesn't just end there. Take a little bit of your time to get what you learn in class or in your room, in your library. Take it into real practical situations. Economics is not something that's hidden. If you're going around in the market, if you're around in the street, you will see it all around there. Economics problems are there, economics analysts are there, the market situations are there. You go to a particular market, you see a particular trader is operating on a what? In a monopoly. You see a different trader operating in a perfect competition. You see another one operating in a discriminating monopoly. You see, everything is out there. Just be looking and you find it. And the more you are able to take this understanding away from the books to reality, the more better equipped you are to solving real world problems. And I believe you and we are going to solve a lot of real world economic problems, not just because I don't know what to say here, but the point is, I believe we are ready. Alright, the next episode of economic analysis challenge will be definitely next year 2024. Alright, we find a way to make it more simpler. I guess I thought these questions were very simple, seriously, and if you see the way I solved it, it's very simple. I didn't even write. I just gave some explanation. Okay, I don't really have to write. Not just because I'm the one who said the question, but just that it's very simple. A 100-level student can attend that. You might not be able to say a lot of things I've said, but at least you can say some things that are clear enough, but not give me theories. Everybody who attended this question went down and gave me theory. Oh, it's far from it. And these theories, they give a glimpse through which you understand the reality. 100%. Everything I said here have this understanding from the theories. But these theories never for once solve the reality. Okay, they have in the past, but things have changed. Alright, so you have to look at things and form it in a new way and make things better and solve real world problem. Wait until January 2023. We find a way to make it more simple. We might reduce the price. So just like that, we get more better. Alright, thank you for the time. Thank you for the patience you've had waiting for me so far. It's been over a month. I ought to have actually made this video. I had an examination to write, and at some point I also have to take care of my head. So just circumstances have not given me the privilege to shoot this video, but now I am back again, and I'm Inshallah Adedeji Michael. Right, put your name down. I have my main number on this video. My Otis line is there on this video. Don't chat me up for any other things beside academics, beside enlightenment, beside problem solving, economics in particular. Alright, you can bring you talking related to financial analysis too. Alright, but that's the economics. But don't go to don't come and meet me and say you write where your lecturer. No, I'm not. We're not talking about grades here. We're talking about mentally sound people who, even if they end up graduating with a pass in their university, they end up struggling with their PhD, they end up struggling with their MSc. Even if they are not privileged to even go to tertiary institutions, they are going to make impact not just in business, but in life generally, in profession, in everything, even in the family. Alright, let me keep it short, and I say thank you once again. Enjoy till next we meet. Thank you.